curse of the Simpsons house.
Once upon a time, in the quiet town of Springfield, strange things began to happen. It all started with the Simpsons family. Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie had always been a happy family, but something was off. They seemed to be getting stranger by the day. Homer began to act erratic, screaming and yelling for no apparent reason. Marge had become distant, spending most of her days locked in her room. Bart and Lisa had become obsessed with death and would often talk about morbid topics. Maggie had stopped speaking altogether. The town of Springfield began to notice that something was wrong with the Simpsons family. The neighbors started to talk, but no one dared to confront them. They had always been a bit odd, but this was different. One night, a group of teenagers snuck into the Simpsons' backyard to investigate the strange noises coming from their home. They peered through the windows and were horrified at what they saw. Homer was sitting at the kitchen table, staring off into space with a blank expression on his face. Marge was in her room, rocking back and forth in her chair. Bart and Lisa were playing a game of chess, but instead of pieces, they were using fingers and toes. Maggie was sitting in the corner, staring at a blank wall. The teenagers were frightened and ran back to their homes. They told their parents about what they had seen, but no one believed them. The town of Springfield had become a ghost town, and the only noise was coming from the Simpsons' house. The house was covered in blood, and there were strange symbols painted on the walls. Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie were all sitting in a circle, staring at a large, glowing object in the center of the room. The police officers tried to speak to the Simpsons, but they were unresponsive. Suddenly, the object in the center of the room began to pulsate, and a blinding light filled the room. The police officers tried to speak to the Simpsons, but they were unresponsive. Suddenly, the object in the center of the room began to pulsate, and a blinding light filled the room. When the light faded, the Simpsons were gone. All that remained was a pile of ash where they had been sitting. The police officers searched the house but found no evidence of foul play. The town of Springfield was never the same after that night. The neighbors moved away, and the town became a desolate wasteland. The only thing that remained was the Simpsons' house, which still stood in the center of town. Rumors began to circulate that the Simpsons had made a deal with the devil and that they were now living in hell. Some even claimed to have seen the Simpsons walking the streets of Springfield at night, but no one could confirm these sightings. Years went by, and the town of Springfield was forgotten. The only thing that remained was the Simpsons' house, which still stood in the center of town. No one dared to enter the house, as it was rumored to be cursed. Legend has it that the Simpsons still haunt the house to this day, and that they are waiting for someone to enter so that they can claim their next victim. The town of Springfield remains abandoned, and the only thing that can be heard is the sound of the wind blowing through the empty streets. And so, the legend of the Simpsons lives on, and the town of Springfield remains a place of fear and mystery.